Hi guys, welcome to another Kamikaze creation video. It's been a little while. I have a seasonal business and I've been absolutely flat out. Plenty of time to earn money for working on cars, but not a lot of time to do that work on the cars. But anyway, I'm getting a bit excited about a few things. I've been collecting a few parts over the last couple of months, and even though you might not have seen old Monty for a while, he's still in the game, and I just gave him a cold start. As you saw, backed him out, gave him a bit of a wash, a bit of loving. Still got a little bit of a tick in the motor, which I haven't really pursued and looked at, I must admit, because I've got that new motor being built, and it is going to be a pearler. New bottom end, all the same top end, all Shane's gear on top and the Yellow Terra head. But the bottom end I've gone for a 202. It's actually the 202 that was in the car when I bought it. I rebuilt the original 173 that came with it, and now I'm rebuilding the 202. It's down at the engine machinist at the moment. It has been there for months and months and months. So you would have seen a video of mine that I was doing the main studs and the crank girdle, and that's all been done. I'll show you the sump that I bought to get over that stud problem. But all Ross Racing pistons and spool H-beam rods, the Romac, I think it's a Romac harmonic balancer, and I bought a Yellow Terra flywheel for it, and the crank. All of that's, the crank's been linished, and all of the rolling stock's been sent away and balanced. So it should be a pretty smooth running motor, except for the lumpy cam that I bought. She's a bit beastier. The compression ratio on this 173, when I built it, we did a few miscalculations and probably built it a bit too low on compression. it was about 7 to 1. And with boost on it, it comes up to around the 14 to 1, I think, something like that. But she's a little bit low, and it's always struggled, the motor, with that low compression. So the new one, we're putting it up around the 9.5 to 1 compression ratio. Not too high, should be still really good under boost. Should be about 20 or 30 thou oversize on the 202 bottom end. With all that good gear in there, I think it should be a really good motor. But I'll show you a few of the parts that I've been collecting. Firstly, there's that ASR sump that I bought. Gorgeous looking sump, very, very expensive in the build process, I suppose, but it is a great sump and it's going to do the job really well. I got it with the external pickup, and there's a pickup plate sitting in there that'll go on the outside of the oil pump, but I have seen a different setup again that runs a mechanical oil pump off the crank. It has its pros and cons, but anyway, we'll see how we go with that setup. But it's a really nice sump, and with that design it should go over the crank girdle, and I've actually fitted it over there really well. I've also bought the HiRise rocker cover to get over any issues that I may have with the roller rockers, even that tick in the motor now. I haven't taken the rocker cover off to check that that's it, but this will get around that problem, and it's a pretty nice looking unit. The other thing I've gone with, and I'm not 100% sure on it yet, is this is a water pump plate, an adapter plate to go to a Davis Craig remote mount water pump. So I can mount that water pump anywhere, blank off the front of the motor, and it basically has an outlet pipe goes onto that, and we can stash that water pump away anywhere we want and control the flow. It's all computer controlled water flow to manage the temperature in the engine. Should be pretty nice. The other thing I have purchased, you would have seen him online a fair bit. Peter Nash does these steering rack and steering column conversions, and does an absolutely beautiful job. Has a spherical bearing that mounts into the firewall, and basically looks like new. It's an absolutely beautiful looking steering column, rebushed down the bottom end, and I'm going to run a double knuckle on it and get rid of that bodgy rubber flex plate that's in the assembly down at the steering rack. So just got to modify. Here's the steering rack. He's rebuilt this for me too, all brand new. New bearings, built from outside to outside, and I've just got to take that little knob off the steering shaft to fit the extra knuckle up, and then it'll basically go knuckle to knuckle, which is two universal joints basically, and it's supposed to make it steer really well. Like for a non-power steering car, it brings it into this century as far as its handling and steering goes. While I was going, I knew Pete did these, and these are his prototype ones he had laying around, but these are chassis stiffeners. I have actually bought these. Over here is my LH Torana, which I haven't done a lot on for a good couple of years now. I had all the rust taken out of it, and it's ready to have the bottom side of it cleaned up. But I'm thinking down the back here, see, I'm going to change this motor over in the UC. I'm thinking about dropping the whole cross member out. This is another UC front end. It's all been painted, been sitting down here for a long time, so it's fairly dusty. So full UC front end, all new bushes, ready to go. So I'm thinking about actually mounting the steering rack onto this one and putting the motor onto it and slipping it all up from the underneath, and then rebuilding my current UC front end for the LH, and getting Pete to do me a few more new parts for it. So that's the go, guys. Got the sump, got the rocker cover, new steering rack, new steering column, and most likely I'd like to fit up that stiffening kit, but I may not under the UC yet. I've also got a diff, which I'll show you. This looks a bit of a mess at the moment. It's been laying around for a fair while, but it's the original UC disc brake front end that should slip straight up under mine. It needs stripping apart and rebuilding, but I've wanted a disc brake front end for this car for a long time. Harrop now do a truetrack centre for these. Different spline configurations to fit the different diffs, but specifically for this diff, a truetrack diff centre. So I think I'm gonna, they're about $1,500 I think. I'll throw a link up on the screen to let you know where they are. But that should be a really nice upgrade as well in the old UC to get a truetrack diff under it, disc brakes, and clean it all. So there you go, guys. Old Monty, been a bit unseen. It took me a while to get that barn find dust on it. Thought I'd treat her like a barn find. She's been sitting out the back of the shed for a while. Still undercover, but got very dusty and dirty. Haven't even started it up for ages, and she's pretty much started up first pop, which was really nice. A lot of new parts. Really keen on that new motor when it comes. It's going to be a fun build fitting that back in. I think I'll get my good friend Terry to come down. He's been helping me out a lot with the UC and the running of this engine, and we might hook into it together if he's willing and keen, and get this thing running with the 202 and all the top end gear on it. It should take a little bit, but be well worth it in the end. So keep watching, guys.